Thanks so much for joining us here on Atlanta News First Plus. I'm Joy Lim-Nakron. Okay, just want to get to some of the top stories that we're following right now, starting with a traffic headache out on the road, some lane closures that we do want to warn you about this morning. So there's a major construction project that is getting underway. The good news is it is actually, it is in the long term expected to make a positive impact, but drivers are going to start seeing these major lane closures in North Fulton County as road construction is shifting into high gear for the next 6 months in Sandy Springs, and this is an already busy interchange. Crews are starting, again, this 6-month phase of a 2-year, $15 million construction project. So you're going to see orange cones and barriers funneling drivers into one lane of traffic along Mount Vernon Highway and Johnson Ferry Road, according to Sandy Springs city officials. And this phase of the pardon me, just trying to manage a little bit of a graphic issue here. So this phase of the project is going to include reconfiguring what a lot of people have described as a Bermuda Triangle of roads. The outside lanes will be open, inside lanes will be closed. This will include reducing the lane widths through the work zone to 10 feet, but just be mindful, definitely going to impact roadways for a while. And the entire project itself is slated for completion in 2026, so still a ways to go. All right, let's talk about the primary day and Georgia's role in the presidential race. So Election Day obviously has come and gone here in the Peach State. It is now official after Georgia and several other states held primary day. President Joe Biden and former President Trump now set up for a rematch that mirrors the 2020 election. And it was the first time that Trump's name has been on the Georgia ballot since the 2020 election. Of course, he has been indicted in a Fulton County election interference probe. But as Atlanta News First Doug Reardon reports, many of Georgia's top Republicans are still supporting Donald Trump.
Even with only about a 10% turnout, the results are in. Donald Trump and Joe Biden won Georgia, setting up a rematch 4 years in the making in Georgia's largest county.
Overall, the PPP went smoothly, with voters being able to cast their ballots efficiently and in a safe and secure environment.
Fulton election officials reported no issues despite a recent data hack, and Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger reported that in all of Georgia's 159 counties, voting went off without a hitch. Raffensperger, who drew fierce criticism and an onslaught of threats from Trump and his allies after refusing to overturn the state's 2020 presidential results, said this about the former president's win in Georgia.
It is what it is. You just our job is to really be prepared.
Georgia Governor Brian Kemp was also a Trump target after 2020, but said Tuesday he'd cast a vote for the GOP nominee, even if it was Trump.
Well, I think you'd be better than Joe Biden. It's as simple as that. And I've said for a long time now I'd support the nominee.
Raffensperger touted the state's new election system, featuring more security and cleaner voting rolls. With immigration a top issue, Raffensperger also urged Georgia lawmakers to amend the Georgia Constitution to include guaranteed voter identification at registration.
And if people get on the voter rolls that are not citizens, then they'll end up being voters at some point. And I want to make sure that only American citizens are voting in our elections.
Doug Reardon, Atlanta News First.
Number 171 is simply the weapon.
That's correct.
And is that you in the NGBI Georgia Bureau of Investigation, right? I didn't include you all in that particular calculus.
Jeffrey Williams, a.k.a. Young Thug, is accused of being, the ringleader of a criminal street gang, what prosecutors say is Young Slime Life. But defense attorneys argue YSL is just a record label, Young Stoner Life. And, there has been an issue for prosecutors in terms of getting witnesses to recount crimes with potential ties to YSL. Some of the crime dates, they go back more than a decade. But we are going to stream this gavel to gavel, the YSL trial, as soon as testimony resumes again tomorrow. And, of course, we're going to follow this until a verdict is reached. You can find our coverage right here on Atlanta News First Plus, which is Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, YouTube, anywhere you stream. Okay, let's talk about this major construction project, which is supposed to really help the city of Atlanta become more cohesive. So we know now when we're going to start seeing the work for this this massive downtown connector, over the downtown connector, I should say, project over the downtown connector called the Switch. It just got a $157 million boost, building a sprawling community space on top of the downtown connector. Atlanta News First reporter Bridget Spencer breaks it all down.
From division to cohesion, that's the goal of the Stitch project in Atlanta. Jack Seeby is a part of the development team.
The Stitch is a project to basically put a lid over the interstate and cover it with park space.
If you take a look at the city on a map, you can see Midtown and Downtown are divided by the highway system.
Removing 24,000 people who used to live here from their homes, mostly low-income black neighborhoods, and dispersing that wealth and that community, those community connections.
The city wants to fix that. This project just got a financial shot in the arm of more than $157 million in federal funding. Phase 1 of the project will build a 14-acre green space over 75 and 85, reconnecting downtown and midtown.
And also connect east and west segments of the Beltline to downtown. So it's about getting people to this area as much as it is making this place a nice place to be.
Atlanta is on the cusp of something great.
The project being praised by Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens as well as Georgia Senator Raphael Warnock.
Well, this is literally correcting and repairing an old age wrong and reconnecting communities. We have these pieces of infrastructure that go right through our city in those days where they called it urban renewal. Well, there were a lot of people who were displaced in order to do that renewal.
Supporters say it's time to ensure all Atlantans have access to entertainment, jobs, and more on all sides of town.
The Stitch is really trying to serve as a bridge between what's going on in Midtown and what's going on in parts of downtown too.
All right, and I want to turn now to First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi. Okay, so I see we have our eyes on this First Alert weather day. Well, multiple First Alert weather days, but it's going to be pretty today, I guess.
Oh, yeah, today will be fantastic. So hopefully you can get out and enjoy it because we do clearly have some rainier days on the way, right on the horizon. So soak in all the sunshine while it lasts because there will be plenty of it the next couple of days. And it will also be plenty warm. We're going to talk about all of that coming up here in just a couple of minutes. But right off the top, as we are looking ahead to the weekend, of course, it is St. Patrick's Day weekend, so a lot of you probably starting to plan for that. We want to give you the heads up that our First Alert weather days are unfortunately coming just in time for the weekend. But let's talk about the good news with these. One, our severe weather threat looking less and less, so not quite as robust as we were originally anticipating. And we'll talk why in just a couple of minutes here. And Sunday is also trending drier, which is great because, of course, that is St. Patrick's Day. I know a lot of events for St. Patrick's Day happening both Saturday and Sunday. But if St. Patrick's Day is your holiday, I know there are some of you out there where that is your fave holiday of the year. Just know that Sunday is starting to trend drier. So we could end up pulling that First Alert weather day if we think that the weather's just not going to have a great impact and that rain continues to shift south. In the meantime, let's talk about today. It's going to be fantastic. How is sunny and 75 for you in downtown Atlanta? My favorite kind of weather, personally. Temperatures area-wide, low to mid-70s today. And again, we'll see a lot of sunshine. We'll see some filtered sunshine because high clouds will start to build in. We call them cirrus clouds. They're made of ice crystals really high up in the atmosphere. And so that could create more of a filtered sunshine look, but nonetheless, it's going to be a great day. Now, as we head through the overnight, lows are going to drop into the upper 40s to low 50s, so not quite as cold as we've been starting. A lot of us have been in the 30s the past couple of mornings. We'll say goodbye to that, but you'll still need at least a light jacket to head out the door tomorrow. Definitely have that, and it'll be a day where you need to layer, very much like today, where we started in the 30s. You need the winter coat, and then this afternoon we'll be in the mid-70s, so it's t-shirt weather. Similar tomorrow. Morning, you'll need a jacket, and then as we head into the afternoon, yeah, how is 80 degrees for an afternoon high? I personally am very excited about it. It will be our first 80-degree day since November. Last time we hit 80 degrees was on November 8th of last year. The record high temperature tomorrow, 82 degrees. So we're going to get very close. And it is definitely not out of reach that we do tie the record or break the record tomorrow. We know how it goes here in Atlanta. Our temperature gauge is down at the airport, and that's always just a little bit warmer than everywhere else. So Not out of the question that we do tie or break that record, but right now we're thinking more so 80 degrees. We'll go just shy of it. Our typical first 80-degree day is March 21st, so we are a little ahead of schedule, but we were a little ahead of schedule last year. It's not necessarily uncommon, but when it comes to the 30-year average, usually we don't hit 80 until March 21st, so we're just a little ahead of schedule on that. Now, as we head through the rest of the week, not going to be quite as warm. Do want to note our average high 65, so we're going to be about 15 degrees above that tomorrow, and then we'll go back closer to that by the start of next week, and then below it by Tuesday, which is actually the official start of spring. A little ironic, right? We've been very spring-like, and then on the first official day of spring, we're going to feel colder than that. But nonetheless, expect 70s to last through Saturday, and then we'll go into the 60s on Sunday, and we'll actually go back into the 50s for high temperatures on Tuesday of next week. Now, the features that are bringing us our first alert weather days on Friday and Sunday are cold fronts. So, unfortunately, that is going to bring some cooler air. If you've been enjoying the warmer weather like me, it's a little bit unfortunate that we're going to see that temperature drop by the start of next week. But take a look at the lows. I think this is almost more unfortunate. We're going to go from lows in the 50s. So our overnight low Friday, when you step out the door Friday morning, it is going to feel warmer than it will on Tuesday afternoon of next week. Welcome to spring in Georgia, right? I'd say this time of year is when the atmosphere is trying to figure out like where it wants to be. Do we want to warm up and head into the spring months, or do we want to kind of pull back and stay in the winter months for a little bit longer? But nonetheless, Monday and Tuesday of next week, you're definitely going to need to grab the layers back out because it will be quite chilly. More than likely going to be a little on the breezy side Monday morning as well. So we'll be keeping an eye on that for you. Let's talk about the rain. So Wednesday and Thursday, lots of sunshine. Again, we could see some high clouds build in. That's usually an indication of a pattern change when you see those cirrus clouds build, and that pattern change being the cold front that will knock on our door on Friday. So this is the change here. Our severe threat definitely lower. Where you see that line of showers from like Carroll County, Haralson County into Troup County by Friday morning for the commute, that little kind of bowing line there, we can watch that for maybe some damaging straight line winds, but we're not going to have a whole lot of fuel to work with here for any kind of robust storms, but maybe an isolated severe storm. We'll look mainly in West Georgia for that. The threat extremely isolated, definitely not super concerned about that, and expect the rain as of right now to potentially roll in the morning. This model is the graph model, so this is our highest resolution model we have, and it is kind of being an outlier. Some of our longer range models that we look at, the GFS and the Euro, you probably hear us talk about those a lot. They're focusing more on the evening for Friday, but we could have some showers as early as mid-morning, and if that happens, then that prevents our temperatures from warming quite as quickly and quite as much through the day, which ultimately lessens our severe weather threat. So showers are possible as early as mid-morning on Friday, and then we'll keep the chance for showers and a few rumbles of thunder into Friday afternoon. And it looks like, according to this model, this is the graph, that we will dry out by Friday evening. So if you have any Friday night plans, it looks drier. Now, this could change. Again, models are a little bit all over the place with this system. So you'll want to focus on Friday as we really fine-tune the timing, because models will eventually start to agree a little more. It just depends how quickly the upper level features in our atmosphere move. So the jet stream, how quickly does that move in and push this system in? So still working on it, but it looks like Friday morning, the opportunity for rain is there with the most widespread coverage in the afternoon, and then starting to clear as we head past sunset on Friday. And again, severe weather threat looks low, but a strong storm or two is possible, especially south and west of the city. Saturday looks mainly dry. We could see some sunshine. We'll warm to the 70s. So Saturday overall not looking half bad. Models definitely trending drier on Saturday. We're still going to keep about a 20% coverage of rain, so a quick passing shower or two will be possible Saturday, but definitely not a washout. If you have any plans on Saturday, continue on with them. And then Sunday, we keep our first alert weather day with a 40% coverage of rain now. We were originally looking at a 60% coverage, 70% coverage of rain on Sunday. That has dropped, and you'll see why when we take you through this model here. Saturday, again, our first front kind of sinks south, and then that weather system kind of hangs out across the southeast, and instead of going further north, it's going to stay further south potentially as the jet stream kind of nudges it south. That would be great news, of course, because that would keep us drier on Sunday if you do have any plans for St. Patrick's Day. But right now, we're keeping our first alert weather day because there is still the potential that that front brings us a more widespread coverage of rain on Sunday, and it could have an impact on your plans. Right now, we're mainly focusing Atlanta southward for that rain. If you live in the mountains, really not an issue for you. If you live in our northern tier of metro, not necessarily a huge issue for you when it comes to the rain, but something that we're fine tuning over the next couple of days. Also, some good news, our rainfall totals going down as well. We obviously have gotten a lot of rain so far this month. We are well in a surplus for the month of March, so we're not looking at any kind of flash flooding issue, it looks like, with this particular event. But thunderstorms possible both Friday and Saturday. Again, severe threat definitely starting to lessen for us, but Friday will focus west of the city and south of the city for maybe an isolated severe storm with damaging straight line wind. Here's a look at your First Alert 7-day forecast. High clouds today, so it'll give us a little more filtered sunshine, and temperatures in the mid-70s. Will be mostly sunny and warm tomorrow with highs near 80 degrees. Enjoy it. And then as we head into Friday, that's our First Alert weather day. 80% coverage of showers and storms. That could start as early as mid-morning, with it looks like the best coverage for the afternoon, clearing as we go past sunset. Trending drier on Saturday. We'll see some peaks of sunshine on Saturday, low 70s. Our next First Alert weather day on Sunday, and that is all dependent upon how much further north that front brings the rain. Right now, again, it looks like mainly Atlanta southward, so we have dropped that rain chance significantly, but because it being St. Patrick's Day, we know you have a lot going on. If this looks like it's going to impact your plans, we'll keep the First Alert weather day, but if we continue to trend drier, we'll drop it, and you can go on with your weekend plans without a hitch. Monday, we will be cooler with temperatures in the low 60s because, of course, the events bringing us the rain or cold fronts, or the feature bringing us the rain is the cold front. And we'll have highs in the low 60s Monday, waking up near freezing on Tuesday to start spring. We'll be in the 30s, so you might want to think about covering your plants if you've started your spring gardens because that very well could impact them. And then temperatures only in the mid-50s to start spring next Tuesday with a lot of sunshine. All right, everyone, I hope you enjoy the beautiful days we have in store the next couple of days. It's just going to be spectacular, nice and mild, getting us excited about spring, but be sure to focus on Friday and Sunday as we continue to fine-tune that forecast for you with the rain and storms on the way to North Georgia. As always, we appreciate you spending some time with us here on Atlanta News First Plus for your news and your weather. I hope you make it a great day, and we'll catch you here next time.